In this video, we will learn how to perform descriptive analytics for univariate qualitative data in Excel. We have two examples. Example 1, our qualitative variable is state and it's a nominal qualitative variable. Our second example, our qualitative variable is grade, and this is an example of ordinal scale variable. So we don't have any numbers here. So unless we get some numbers, we really cannot do anything. So the first thing we have to do is convert this ungrouped data into grouped data. So we will type all the unique states that we have. We have only 4 states. But if you had lots of data and lots of states, how do you find out how many unique states you have? What you can do is you can click on state and then click on data and then click on filter. You see a drop down button, you click on that and you can see all the unique states there are. Okay, so we want the frequency. So we will say count if, here's the range, and the criteria is Florida. Now before I copy this formula down, we need to put a $sign in front of the row numbers. Okay, there. That's our frequency table. Now we can do something with it. The first thing we can say is that the mode value is Florida because its frequency is the highest. We can also do relative frequency. For that, we will need the sum of frequencies, 25. So the relative frequency is basically this divided by the total frequency with a $sign there, 52%. And the sum of the relative frequencies should be 1.00. Now we do not want to do cumulative frequency and cumulative relative frequency because for nominal data, cumulative frequencies do not make any sense because this ordering is not meaningful. I can change this ordering, and if I change the ordering, the cumulative frequencies will change, and the cumulative frequencies will be very arbitrary. We cannot make any statements about this data based on the cumulative frequencies. Okay, we can do the same thing for example 2. You have grade A, B, C, D, and F. And frequency, count if this range, comma, that, and we want to put a $sign in front of the row numbers. Okay, and then we get the sum, and we get relative frequencies, and then the sum should be 1.00. Now here we can do cumulative frequency as well as cumulative relative frequency. So cumulative frequency equal to frequency, first one. The second one is previous cumulative plus the current frequency. So the last cumulative frequency should be equal to the total frequency. Similarly, cumulative relative frequency, first is the same as relative frequency. The second one is a previous plus the current. Let me copy this down. So the last one is 1.00. That's good. Okay, so now we have converted the ungrouped data into grouped data. So from here, we can draw some charts. For example, we can draw a frequency chart, a column chart using frequencies. There. We can also draw a column chart using relative frequencies. There. We can also draw a bar chart. There. We can also draw a bar chart of relative frequencies. We can also draw a pie chart. Now, whether we select frequency or relative frequency, the pie chart stays the same. There. Similarly, for example 2, we can create a frequency column chart. There. We can do a relative frequency column chart. There. We can do a bar chart of frequencies. Insert a bar chart. The bar chart has the same information as the column chart, it's just tilted by 90 degrees. We can do a bar chart for relative frequency. There. And we can do a pie chart. Insert a pie chart. And of course, we can change the titles and the axis labels. Now, a few important things to remember. When we create this column chart, we get a shape of this distribution, a shape. So this shape looks like it is skewed to the right, but we do not want to make that statement because the shape depends on the ordering. What if Florida was here? And what if this was North Carolina? What if this was Georgia? Then we would have a shape like this. And that shape will be just as arbitrary as this one. So even though this looks skewed to the right, it's just by chance based on this ordering. So we do not want to interpret the shape of this curve or this or this. But here you can, because this is ordinal variable. So here we can say that the distribution is skewed to the right. That means there's few low grades but more high grades. Okay. The other thing we can do with ordinal data is that we can assign numeric values to grade and call it grade point. So 4, 3, 1, 4, 3. And now we can just use this column and treat it as discrete quantitative data and do everything we did with discrete quantitative data. So for example, we can do the data analysis pack, descriptive statistics, input range, grade point, labels in first row, output range, let's say here, summary statistics, there. We can convert this ungrouped data into group data just like we did up here. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4. Count if this range, comma this, and put a dollar sign in front of There we have the frequency table. We can do cumulative frequency, and from here we can draw some charts. We can do a frequency chart. Now we have to be careful. Over here, when we selected these two columns like this and said insert a column chart, it gave me this column chart. Here, because these are numbers, if I select these two and say create a column chart, it will not treat this as x-axis label and this as y-axis value like it did up here. Because both are numeric, it will give me two columns for these two values, two columns for these two values. So I'll have a column for this and a column for this. So what we really want to do is only select this one column, the frequency column, and say insert a column chart. And now change the x-axis label, select data, edit, and use the 0 to 4. There. Similarly, we can create a relative frequency chart by only selecting the relative frequency column, and then we give it the x-axis labels as these values. Similarly, we can do a pie chart of frequencies. And for this, we will provide 0 to 4. There. So those are all the charts. Now in this video, I have not taken the time to fix the titles and add the axis labels. We know how to do it. So I will do it before I save this file, but it will not be recorded in the video because it will unnecessarily increase the length of the video. Now this pie chart, we can select a different pie chart that displays the percentages. Similarly, this one, we can select a different pie chart that displays the percentages. Similarly here, we can choose a different pie chart like this. Okay, we have added axis labels on every chart, and also we have given appropriate title on every chart, and this is the Excel file that I will save and post. Okay, so that's the end of this video.